There we go. Okay. Give me just a moment. I'll make my stream announcements and we will get going. So we finished up the bounty hunter last week. So this week we are doing the Jedi Consular. We're getting started, and okay, sorry, I normally should have posted all of these stream announcements before we actually got started. It's been kind of a crazy week. I think I mentioned during my crafting stream last week, or last Sunday, that my job is disappearing. It is what it is, but my boss still has not found an internal job for me, so I'm kind of starting to actually look at actual jobs, you know. But I say actual jobs, I mean like jobs outside of my current company. So there's a possibility that I'll be having to find a new one, and I'm just kind of like, I have not had to actually look for a job in a while, because the job that I currently have, I kind of fell into. I was working for a company before this company, well, before 3 companies ago, that they were a call center where basically you walked in, you were alive, and they'd hire you. And they would just kind of shove you at whichever place they had available. So I didn't really have to do much to get the job. My current job, 3 companies ago, a friend of mine had worked at the company I was at then before that particular call center that was, you're a warm body, you could fill a seat, let's hire you. And they hated it, so when they found out I was working there, even though they knew I loved the job, they asked me for a copy of my resume, gave it to their boss, and next thing I know, I'm getting called in for an interview. I impressed them enough, they hired me on the spot. And then when they sold the company to a different company, my job, they just were like, okay, go ahead and give us your updated resume. And they didn't even bother to interview me, they just hired me on because I already knew what I was doing and I was already a good worker. And then when they sold again to a different company, again, same thing. Gave them my updated resume and they were like, okay, you don't even have to take a drug test. So I have not actually applied for a job in quite some time, and even when I did apply for the one I've got, even when I applied for the one that was the initial corporate job, I didn't really go to headhunter sites or anything like that, and so I'm kind of lost. A lot of these jobs, I'm looking at the job descriptions and I'm going, but what am I going to be doing? What does the actual job entail? And yeah, I don't really know. I know that when it says fast-paced, competitive environment, it means we're going to work you to death. You're going to be super busy. You're not going to have time to think. If they say that you need to be a self-starter, it means we're not going to bother to train you very well. We're just going to hand you some training materials and say, do it. Which, okay, that's basically what happened with the company that I work for now and the company before that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started with Star Wars, though, instead of listening to me gripe about the job woes. So, we got Beniko to the fleet. So we're going to be doing a Jedi. We're going to start again. Let's see, this one's going to be a female. That's our first thing, female. Okay, correction. Our first thing will be that she will be with, yeah. Okay, Jedi Consular. So Jedi Shadow is our sneaky, which we haven't done that yet because when we did our Imperial Agent, who is a class that has the potential to be sneaky, or our Smuggler, again, has a potential to be sneaky, we went with the Gunslinger and Sniper classes. So we're going to go ahead and do the Shadow. Jedi Shadow, wielding a double-bladed lightsabers, Shadows embrace the synergy between melee and force combat, enabling them to strike down enemies of the Order with deadly efficiency. Was that a... Thank you for that follow, Fragilities. I appreciate that. The other option for the Jedi Consular is the Jedi Sage. Sages are famed for their wisdom as much as their powerful healing and defensive skills. In troubled times, a sage brings together the insight of the past with raw power to change the flow of galactic events. These tend to be a healer class, but as we know, I either DPS or tank. And I don't tank for others, I just choose a tanky class or tanky spec so that I don't die very often, because I don't like dying in games. Okay, so we're going with the Jedi Shadow, though, because sneaky is fun. Alright. So, now again, we're going to be playing a female character because last character was a male. But we got to choose our race. Now, since I am trying to play this as if it were the base game with no special classes, we cannot play the Togruta, the Cathar, or the Nautolan. Those ones we would not have available if this were just, you know, special play. So I think we're going to do a Miraluka because I don't believe I created one yet. And I gotta admit, I love Miraluka. On my main server, a lot of my characters are Miraluka. So the Miraluka do have the ability to see with the Force, and they've got a social ability that actually lets you read the alignment of another character. Now, I almost never use the social abilities. They're just not a huge thing for me, but it's kind of neat for RP purposes. Okay, so we're going with female. Thank you. Okay, the voice because I don't want you hearing the background noises. We're going to do our standard of, let's see, Benico, we went with body type 4, I think. But we're going to go all the way back to the beginning of everything. Okay, so yeah, Benico was body type 4. So, body type 1, 2? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember what the other body types I've used before were for female characters. So we're going to go with body type 3. Sure, why not? Big, muscular girl. Okay, so if you notice, she's got these weird shade things over her eyes. Miraluka don't actually have eyes. They have a blank... a friend of mine said that it's like this particular race from Wheel of Time. Some character named Shadar Haran is one. I've never actually read Wheel of Time, so I don't know. But let's see. She's going to be character 6? No, she's character 5. So we're going to go with 5s for everything. But I'm going to show you the options before we actually select it. So, no, she can't be character 5. Can she? She would have to be, because I started with the Jedi Knight, didn't I? I don't remember. I'm confused. That's okay. I'm always confused. Let's face it. Okay, so back to option 5. So she's going to have... Ah! That's not what I told you to do. Don't turn your back on the camera. Okay, so she's going to have this scar here. Complexion. It always seems weird to me how the complexion will sometimes change their hair, even though I'm not sure why it does that. Like, your hair isn't part of your complexion, but okay. Oh, hold on. Cosmetics is all the way up here. Sorry. I always try to show you guys from the base. Oh, that took away the green eyeshadow. I like the green eyeshadow. Or was it green lips? I don't know. Okay, so that's all of the facial options, but again, going with 5. So, fairly plain and simple in this case. Gonna turn her a little bit, get a look at her face better. The masks. This is what changes what's over her eyes. So this is option 5, so this is what she's going to look like with her mask. Got some different options. Most of my Miraluka tend to have the ones that make it look like they're like wearing shades. So these earlier ones, you know. But we're sticking to the doing the 5s for her. So this is the cosmetics, so it changes her makeup a little bit, but the thing is, a lot of those cosmetics, what they're changing is her eye makeup, which she doesn't have visible eyes, so it's kind of pointless on a lot of them. But you can see it does change lip colors sometimes. And when you get back into these are the ones that you can only get with cartel coins. And of course, not using those because trying not to use subscriber perks. This did give her a different lip color, so at least there's that. Hair. Looks like this is the one we're going to have in the end. Oh, she's got the ponytail. I kind of like the ponytails. Okay. We're going to go ahead and look at what other options are there. Ponytail and cinnamon buns. I always forget that I need to angle them so you guys can actually see the hair. Mohawk. I was planning, before I found out that I would be losing my job, to go back and get my hair shaved back into my mohawk. But if I'm going to have to do job interviews, I'm going to at least wait until after the interviews are done. Just for safety's sake. Okay. Hair colors. Miraluka basically follow the base design for a human. So they mostly have the same hair colors and skin colors that a human would have. They're just a species that sees via the Force because they don't actually have eyes. I think their planet doesn't actually have like they live underground or in caves or something, and that's why they all have no eyes, things like that. I think. I don't remember, honestly. I've slept since the last time I created a Miraluka and paid attention. Ooh, I like that name. We're going to go with Antranda. Okay, so here we go. I will, as always, read the opening crawl, and then once the opening crawl is done, I will go ahead and turn on the sound so you guys can hear things once the traditional Star Wars music that every time gets me in trouble with YouTube because copyright infringement, oh no, is done. So I am going to try to periodically remember to check and see if anyone has posted in the chat. Normally I'm very bad about that, especially when I'm distracted by actually playing, but I'll try. So no promises, but I'll try. Okay, so we are waiting for the opening crawl, which is taking forever because of course it is. Here we go. Alright. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I always forget how loud that is. Oof. Okay. Prologue. The Jedi Consular. Evil threatens to consume the galaxy. The Sith Empire's relentless assault destroyed the Jedi Temple and drove the Republic's defenders into exile during the last war. A fragile peace has been negotiated, and the Jedi have returned to their long-abandoned homeworld of Tython to regroup and investigate their ancient origins. Now, a wise young Padawan travels to Tython's mountain ruins on a perilous quest to complete the Jedi trials and master the mysteries of the Force. I should not be whistling along with the opening crawl, given that the opening crawl will get me in trouble on YouTube if I go ahead and play it. Okay, just waiting to get past the actual Star Wars music, and then I will go ahead and turn on sound for stream. Though I'm going to pause the sound for just a minute while it's up. Okay, here we go. We're waiting till we finish the, beautiful Jedi planet. Here's going to play beautiful Jedi music. There we go. Now we should be able to hear things because now it's just starship sounds. That is really loud, though. I don't know if it's as loud on stream as it is to me, but oof. Okay. Okay, spacebar. Oh, come on. Okay. It's not gonna let me... Can I just want to switch off of the planetary general chat. Thank you. There, okay. All the beautiful ancient temples and mountains, and here you are, the young, the wise young Padawan, as they described you. I gotta say, Tython is a beautiful planet, so... I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's got all of the...
Padawan. I heard your shuttle arrived. I am Master C.O. Bakar of the Jedi Council. Welcome to Tython. This is the ancestral home of our order, where the Jedi first came to be, and where our most promising Padawans complete their training.
I'm surprised a member of the Jedi Council would come to meet me.
I wanted to meet the student who's caused such a stir. Your instructors tell me that even in childhood you had a remarkable connection to the Force. We haven't seen such power in decades. I was hoping your new master would be here. Yuan left her dig site and was returning to Tython specifically to train you.
Is Master Yuan an archaeologist?
In a way. As you become her Padawan, never forget your initial training, nor the Jedi Code. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force. This is... Yuan is beginning to worry.
So you've arrived safely, my Padawan. I'm sorry I can't greet you properly, but we already have a crisis on our hands.
I'm at your service, Master.
Tython is a treasure trove of ancient Jedi relics. Recently, our researchers uncovered several teaching holograms, but they've not been fully studied. These holograms may be records of the founders of the Jedi Order. They're absolutely irreplaceable. But a large group of flesh raiders has begun rampaging through that region. Those priceless holograms are in danger.
Is there a way to protect the holograms?
Someone must slip past the flesh raiders to recover these holograms' projectors. I intend this to be the first task of your training.
No, Yuan. You can't risk a Padawan against flesh raiders, even for such important artifacts.
A Padawan who was stronger in the Force at 4 years old than I was at 15? Gifted students need greater challenges.
So I must recover these holograms and watch for flesh raiders. Where should I begin?
The holograms are in the Nars. Be vigilant. That region has dangers of its own. If you encounter any difficulties, contact me on this holocommunicator. When you have the holograms, meet me at the Jedi Temple. We have much to discuss.
I'm glad I didn't go with body type 1 because this character has the exact same hairstyle as her master. So if I'd gone with body type 1, I would have basically ended up with the exact same body type and hairstyle as the master. Okay, now... I believe that I am lost. There is supposed to be a speeder around here that will let me go to where I'm supposed to be training. Found the speeder, okay. I know normally that I set up my bars first, but I'm not going to bother until later on that. It's okay. Like, these early quests, it's literally you hit the first 2 keys, every now and then you heal, so not a big deal. Okay, so some of these quests we have seen before, as I've mentioned with other classes when we're redoing the same starting zone, but it's okay. Who knows? Characters might make different choices.
Padawan, come here, quickly. The training grounds are not safe today.
I always expected my trials would be a challenge.
Normally, we minimize the danger until the Padawan is settled in and trained. You're Yuan's apprentice, though, aren't you? We could certainly put your combat training to use. The short version is we have flesh raiders invading the training grounds, and a group of Padawans without combat skills is trapped in the hills.
Just let me know what's required. I'm here to help.
I've got a beacon here. If you can find the Padawans and set the beacon, we'll send an evac shuttle as fast as we can. A group of Jedi from the temple is headed this way. Maybe not fast enough. May the Force be with you.
Gotta love the fact that it glitches through her body. Alright, so we're gonna go murder flesh raiders. Basic abilities as a Jedi. Consular. We have an ability where we can throw a rock off the ground. I mean, ish. And it's fairly effective. I mean, gotta give it that. And then, of course, we can run in and we can swing our... In this case, it's not a lightsaber yet, it's a staff. We will get lightsabers later, but for the moment, it's just a staff. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Alright. First holo communicator. Or hologram.
Activation protocol begins. So, after the long silence, finally someone comes. They're in charge. Millennia ago, I stood as a founder of the Jedi Order.
There are flesh raiders in the area. Your holoprojector's at risk. I'm here to save it.
To protect without fighting, a trait I wanted at the core of our beliefs. The Jedi may have changed. Collective peace has always remained one of our goals. Activation protocol complete. Go well.
Okay, there's hologram 1. Each of these that we collect is going to teach us a small lesson about the Jedi. I like how he's just talked about how we don't fight, we want peace. And she's here beating the crud out of flesh raiders. Because, yes. With a Consular, your primary ability is always, like, your I'm starting the battle. Will almost always be a let's chunk something at them from a distance, because... okay, so we're also going to free these captured Padawans, because... why not? Why not Zoidberg? That was a terrible version of his accent. Alright. So, I swear the more I play while streaming, the more I realize that, hey, maybe I actually do need a second monitor, but given I'm playing on a laptop, that's not really as easy as it sounds. So I don't need... they don't have the thingy, so... okay. Second holocron!
Activation protocol begins. Ah, another has come to listen. When the Jedi Order was founded, I, Caleb Bryn, said we should devote ourselves to justice. True justice cannot be driven by emotion. We Jedi can set our passions aside and seek the truth without fear or favor.
The projector for this hologram is in danger. I'm here to recover it.
And do what is needed. That too is part of justice. Activation protocol complete.
Okay, there's two. Yeah, this one really is a... let's give you a rundown on what the Jedi were supposed to be, whether they are or not. And I give them credit. The Jedi do set out to be the good guys. Might not always achieve it, but... oh, hi. I didn't notice you until you were shooting me, and I hit you without realizing I had targeted you. So, okay, let's go again. The Jedi really did set out initially as the good guys, and I still don't believe the whole, they stole babies, and, you know, like, everything I see in here is the Jedi told my parents, hey, I'm gifted with the Force, there's potential that if I'm not trained properly, I could become a danger to myself and others, and therefore my family was given a choice and sent me with the Jedi willingly. That's just how it's always come across to me from everything I've seen in-game. I don't really see the baby kidnapping monsters that you sometimes see the Jedi described as in the fan base.
Activation protocol begins. A new Jedi comes to learn. Excellent. Excellent. I am Ter Senden, keeper of the histories, a founder and chronicler of the Jedi Order. I soar the coming guardians of knowledge and secrets. We Jedi would safeguard the wisdom of the galaxy.
I've come to retrieve the projector for your hologram. It's in danger of being destroyed by flesh raiders.
Saving what could be lost forever. My thanks. Activation protocol complete.
As far as I know, with these holocrons, they actually preserve not only the words of the Jedi that came before, but also their personalities. That way, they save their wisdom too, so you can actually learn from them and you can ask them questions, and they can provide you with answers that are individual to the question. However, they aren't going to be able to answer any question that they wouldn't have known in life. So if you ask them about something that occurred after the holocron was made, they're going to just be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Good luck. But if you ask them about something that they wouldn't have had any knowledge of, like, hey, what were the Sith actually doing at this time? They're like, we don't know. They were on a different planet. They're not going to be able to answer it. But as long as you're asking about things that happened in their lifetime that they would have had access to that information, these holocrons are an amazing repository of knowledge. You try to activate the holocron, but nothing happens. On closer examination, the holoprojector has been carefully pried from its base and removed.
Master Yuan, I've encountered a problem. One of the holoprojectors has been stolen.
Stolen? But the flesh raiders don't steal, they destroy. I'll look into this. If you have the other holograms, come and meet me at the Jedi Temple. I'm sending you directions now. Please, Padawan, be careful.
Okay, so we've got to find 2 more cages, get those opened, and then we also need to find the missing Padawans who are apparently up this way. Gonna jog past these guys. Fight these Manka cats to get to this. Oh no, those are flesh raiders, never mind. They were just all crouched over like they were Manka cats. It's kind of odd of them. There's that. And open the chest, because why not? I'll go ahead and run across this. There's another cage we can open up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So, yes. Free the Padawan. Okay. One more cage to find and open. And then yeah, it looks like they're back up here. Oh, I remember now where they are. Okay. actually seem to want to attack me. They're up that way, but I believe I have to go around this way to get to them. I think still gotta open. Yeah, I need to open one more cage before I go too far, because I will lose access to that bonus quest if I rescue the students before I open the last cage. Which, you know, annoying, but oh well. It just means we have to go run around and find a cage that has not already been opened by another Padawan. Glowy blue thing. Alright, this one, the cage occupant should respawn shortly, so we'll come over here and wait. Sadly, the Flesh Raiders are probably going to respawn at... Oh, never mind. Flesh Raiders didn't respawn first. Oh, yes, they did. Okay. Okay. There. Yeah. Let's go rescue those, missing Padawans. I can jump and run and climb up the hill. And... I think I can jump up here. Maybe. You guys have seen me enough to know that if there's a way to jump and run and bypass mobs, I'm going to use it. Not necessarily the way you're supposed to do it, but hey, it works, doesn't it? For me. I would be awful at Skyrim because I would be one of those people who insist on going over the mountain instead of around it. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to go around, but you know, it's... And there's the way I was supposed to go. Okay.
How's he looking?
He should be resting in the Jedi Temple, but if you're determined to press on, I can help him along.
Give him the last of the Kolto if you have to. We'll fight again soon. Hey! Good to see another Padawan alive out here. You're lucky those creatures haven't caught you yet.
I wouldn't be much of a Jedi if I let a beast scare me off.
Couldn't take us either, and let me tell you, they tried.
We came seeking knowledge of the Jedi Code. The Flesh Raiders interrupted our trial.
Never fought like that in my life. We killed it, but Jaredin was badly injured.
Your friend, how's your...
It is not the Jedi way to seek battle and revenge while a man suffers.
That's your opinion, Mineas. It's not what we decided. Training or not, a bunch of animals won't keep us from becoming Jedi.
Isn't she right? Jedi don't give up, do they?
She is wrong. Remember the Jedi Code.
That's enough, Mineas. If you want to help us, we could use you. Help make the Flesh Raiders pay.
You're walking a dangerous path. You and your friends need to get back to camp while you still can.
We're so close to finishing the trial.
No, we are not.
I see you have a signal beacon. Leave it for us, and as soon as we have gathered our things, we will signal for a ride back.
Yeah, better that Avitla and Mineas and Jarek survive to fight another day than that they, you know, don't. Whether she thinks that's what they should do or not, at least Mineas is wiser. Because, yeah, dead Padawans don't do anybody any good. Except, well, maybe the Sith. The Sith like dead Padawans because, dead Padawans mean less Jedi. I could run right through the middle of those Flesh Raiders and fight them, or I could just, run through the river and avoid the Flesh Raiders. Seems like a no-brainer to me. You can see people using, like, their speed abilities, things like that. Some of them already have their mini-pets that they've gotten from various login bonuses.
Wei, you really came through for those Padawans.
There were Flesh Raiders at every turn. I'm sure many of them are still out there.
Don't worry, we've got experienced Jedi on the way. You probably want to get back to your trials. Again, thank you. May the Force be with you.
Alright. Okay. Go ahead and pop this open and, oh look. New pants. New glove. Item with crafting materials. I promise the crafting materials are staying. They actually get deposited in here. And, you can see that over the various characters, we've actually collected quite a few. Some of them, it's not much. But we haven't also learned any of the crafting skills yet, so it's kind of like, well, okay then. The Renown Stash, we don't actually have anything yet because we're not really earning renown at this point. The Collections and Pack Explorer, those are both cartel specific. I do see a trainer over there, but we're not going to visit with her because we're going to pick up the quest that says, go visit your trainer.
Greetings. You are cleared for the
Alright,
following
Jedi Temple.
travelers.
Okay. So, off to the Jedi Temple. Let's see. Once we get there, we will be talking again with Yuan. Let's see if it's opened up the, hey, fight these robots quest yet. If it has, great, we'll go ahead and get the first of those out of the way and just do those as the options are presented to do them. Okay, mail will have to wait until after we've... Yep, nope. It's not ready for us yet. But, oh look.
Hey, Padawan. You must be the one Master Yuan mentioned. Must be. Isn't Typhon amazing? Scary, too. Don't get me wrong, but wow. I mean, look at this place. Sorry. Babbling. Master Yuan said to remind you that she says a Jedi needs to learn martial skills and said that I should say you should.
And who will train you in these martial skills?
Oh, right. Sorry. Go see Master Weddle in the temple. Doesn't look like much, but he'll show you stuff you wouldn't believe. Good luck. May the Force be with you.
I like Helen. She's cute. I like people who are flustered easily, I guess. Which, I mean, makes sense, because I kind of am. Okay, so... Oh, Black Spike. Let's see. Okay, so something wants us to go upstairs, but that's you. Okay, we're gonna go upstairs and talk to Master Weddle first. And of course, we'll stop and poke at the thing that goes, "Hey, here's where the Jedi Council meets." Yay, Jedi Council. Alright. Everybody wears brown. All brown all the time. Why am I not seeing Master Weddle? Okay. I went the wrong way, I guess. But I can't... Oh, there's a... Wait, no. That's the heroics. Okay, I know where that is. Alright, we need to go through the other door. Why, yes, there is another door. Here's where to find Master Weddle. This way. Lore object. This is about Satil Shan, who is, yeah, she's kind of a big thing. We'll get to meet her. Actually, I think we already did meet her with, another character. That's right, we did. Oh, this is the training where you can practice your skills and stuff. I really should learn to do that, but I never do. Here's Master Weddle.
You are wise to seek further enlightenment.
Yes, thank you. Force Wave. And Force Breach. Force Technique. So, accept the new belt. Thank you, Master Weddle.
May the Force be with you.
Look, I'm level 4 now. Look, he has something new to
Jedi
teach.
seeks to improve himself through study.
Okay.
May the Force be with you.
Okay. Guess who forgot how to leave the room for a minute there? Okay. Let's go meet with Yuan. And because I'm me, jump off the bridge. Or, it's not a bridge. What is that? It's a thingy. I swear I took my ADHD meds today. I promise I did. My brain just is like, nope, we're not acting like it.
There isn't. It's out of my hands, Kaizen.
Out of hands can do nothing. From you is strange to hear.
I haven't. Padawan, come in. This is Kaizen Fess, an old friend. He's here on a hunting expedition. A sacred Trandoshan tradition.
Did you train Kaizen too, Master Yuan?
Am no Jedi. Am a hunter of beasts and must scout before light changes. Scorekeeper watch over.
Some people, even some Jedi, disapprove of my friendship with Kaizen. I wanted you to meet before rumors prejudiced you. First, thank you for saving the holograms. The Jedi have lost enough lately without losing our history, too.
One of the holoprojectors was taken before I could reach it.
I recall, and not just... that holograms of the infamous Master Rajivari. Rajivari was another of the Jedi founders. He turned to the dark side. He betrayed the very order he helped create.
What exactly did Rajivari do?
Details of his life are maddeningly sparse. Rajivari was immensely powerful. That stolen hologram could hold his darkest secrets. The thief is likely from Kalikori village. Local Twi'lek pilgrims here illegally. Many of them are poor or hungry.
You said Kalikori village isn't a legal settlement. I didn't think Tython had such laws.
The Republic couldn't give the Twi'leks permission to colonize Tython. Too dangerous. But they came regardless. I'd like you to go to Kalikori village, discover who took the holoprojector, and retrieve it. Tread lightly. The Twi'leks are here in defiance of the public law. You're forbidden to fully defend them, even when the flesh raiders attack. Relations are strained.
We're Jedi. Aren't we obligated to help those in need?
This is the Jedi Council's judgment. I might disagree, but the decision is made. When you reach Kalikori village, find Bashan, captain of the village guard. He knows everyone. He may have seen the holoprojector. I think meeting these pilgrims will be a good lesson for you, Padawan. Go carefully.
And again, off to Kalikori village, and again, our character is not thrilled with the fact that they're being prevented from being protected by the Jedi, because, I mean, that's what the Jedi are supposed to do, right? It's what we keep being told we're supposed to do. Well, looks like there's another quest over here, so we're gonna jog down and see if we can find it. Oh, that's the daily heroics again. Never mind. Okay, so I think we're going to come across another quest. Great, my eyes wanted to work right. Nope, still. Maybe that's a Jedi Knight only thing? I don't remember. That's the fun of Knight versus Consular, is some of them have quests that the others don't. Okay. And yes, we could fly out to Kalikori, but we're not going to. We're gonna hoof it out there, because I think if there is another quest, we will run across it on the way. I think. Maybe. Maybe not, because the person I think that quest was from, I just ran past her and nada. So, okay. So, hoofing it. Go this way. Hello, empty beasts. I love you. You big floof cows. Sorry, earbuds are sometimes incredibly itchy to wear. Yes, I clean my ears, and I clean the earbuds, and still, sometimes very itchy. Okay, Kalikori Village. Looks much the same as when we were here on our Jedi Knight. I think... Okay, so here's a quest. Oh, here's who we were supposed to talk to.
Got another cask, or 3. The festival only comes once a year. Our stores can take it.
Just as well. We have an uninvited guest.
I see. Festival of Awakening, Jedi. You're not welcome here.
I apologize for interrupting. Master Yuan Par asks if you've seen a Jedi holoprojector.
If you want Par's asking, guess we could try and remember.
A holoprojector. Yeah, I know what you mean. Nayland found one. Nayland Rollock. Maybe you've heard of him?
Sorry, I've only just arrived on this world.
Nayland Rollock, our dueling champion for 9 years straight. He once rescued an entire scouting party from flesh raiders single-handed. our defenses. Protects us when we go foraging. Without him, we wouldn't even be having the festival. And no, I am not telling you where he is. Nayland earns his peace and quiet.
That hologram's data isn't safe. Nayland should be warned. Or do you want to risk something happening to him?
Nayland can take care of himself.
Against flesh raiders, sure. But some of that Jedi tech is weird.
Okay, fine. Nayland went into the flesh raiders' territory. He's probably still there. He's been gone a while.
I thought this was a special day. Shouldn't he be here celebrating?
Nayland just likes to be alone these days, and festivals aren't really his thing.
Though last year, he did the Wakers dance with the rest of us.
I think Nayland's got a camp out there. If you see him, tell him to be back for the feast.
Sure. Okay, so I see quest markers. So we're going to do... That one over there is going to be the one for the going up the hill and talking to the lady, I think. This one, I think, is the mom.
Come over here, Jedi, and spare a moment for a humble servant of the matriarch. I promise, your other dealings will
Or
wait.
not.
My name is Vidariat Aeon. I minister to the bodies and spirits of the villagers, and I have a request.
What's this?
I speak of the Flesh Raiders. Of late, we've seen them growing stronger, and I know why.
You have my attention.
The Flesh Raiders have been experimenting, concocting an elixir that makes them ravenous. The ones who drink it go mad. Their lips froth, and they pounce like starving animals. It's black medicine, primitive and evil.
How could flesh raiders learn to do something like that?
I have no idea. Such wickedness is beyond our comprehension. We lack the numbers to attack the Flesh Raiders directly, and not even the Jedi can wipe the monsters from this world. With our warriors' help, the Jedi could reach the Flesh Raider caves and destroy their vats of elixir.
Then I will make it happen.
Thank you for this. Odin Slayer knows where the vats are hidden. He is our guard captain. Talk to him to learn the Raiders' secrets.
Now, fair warning. I will probably be making a lot of the same choices that I made on my previous character. Not because I'm boring, but because some things are just right, and some things are wrong. And, certain characters I can't bring myself to do something that I know is wrong.
More young Jedi in Kalikori, I see. I am your father, Master of Rituals. I welcome you. You wish to participate in the ceremony, I presume? You understand the dangers?
There's no doubt about it.
Good. Together we'll bridge the gap between Pilgrim and Jedi. Many of your brethren, your Padawans, come to Kalikori to perform our rite of passage. Those who endure the ceremony are awarded an audience with Clovish to receive her wisdom and her gifts.
Why would Jedi participate in pilgrim rituals?
To prove their strength, to gain rewards. Clovish lives in the mountains above, once our leader. Now she is our guide and protector. To complete the ceremony, you must walk the 1,000 steps to her home. You must carry a burning brand and light the signals along the path. You must protect the flame from beasts and flesh raiders. This will prove your worth. If you wish, I will ignite the brand. It burns only. But if you are deserving, it will be enough.
I am ready to carry the flame.
Then go, and light each of the signal fires along the mountain path. When you reach the end, you will find Clovish.
So, I gotta say, I once decided to test and see with a different character, and the brand does not actually go out. I've actually carried it all around, all over Tython, without it going out at any point. That said, I don't normally do that. I just get the quest out of the way and get moving. But if I were to so choose to just run around Tython carrying this burning brand, it would not fail the quest. You just get it done eventually. I'm skipping past mobs because I don't want to fight them. Like the brand. On we go. Weaving in and out between groups of mobs. Pixie Beast. Probably I'm going to end up doing this next little bit where I find the guy. Oh, no, gotta fight the horn. Oh, it's a baby. Didn't really want to fight the baby. But I'm probably going to find the next part where I find the camp, and after that, probably end the stream for the night. I do still have to listen to it and make certain that there's no copyright infringement on YouTube, etc., etc. At some point, I need to learn how to edit these videos, so you're not just getting the live experience, as it were, when people are watching them on YouTube. But at the same time, is that gonna... I don't know. I have a friend who does not watch live Twitch streams. He just watches things on YouTube, and then he's like, why don't they just cut out the fighting? Why do they talk so much?
You perform the rite of the pilgrims well, Jedi. I saw the signal fires as you climbed the path. Very few of your kind make it this far. I am Kalovish, first matriarch and reader of the ancient texts. I led our people to this planet, and I welcome you.
It's a privilege to meet you, matriarch.
And it is my privilege to meet a Jedi who accepts our ways. Even our own kind, the other Twi'leks, they mocked us and denied the authority of the matriarchs. That is why we came here. Now you've completed the ritual, and you are friend to the pilgrims. You share our burdens, and you share our strength.
I am quite honored.
Take these gifts. We have very little, as you must know. But you are Jedi. You share our world, and you face a difficult future.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Remember us, and remember our ways. Go to your duties now, and as we part, know that my blessings go with you.
So, from what I've seen over many, many years of playing Star Wars and reading Star Wars novels and watching the movies, I haven't watched all of them, I'll admit, and there's some novels I've never read, but from what I can tell, the Twi'lek race was originally one that followed these ways that Kalovish talked about, matriarchs, but has since come to where they have a patriarchal society on their native planet, which is a very difficult one to live on. There's not much food, there's not much way of making a living, and that's a big part of why you see so many Twi'leks sold into slavery is their families don't have the money to support themselves, and so they sell their kids into slavery, and it just so happens that people like to buy them for personal use.
Anything a soldier needs, and some things he doesn't.
But, yeah, it's...
Good luck out there.
Certainly not an easy life to be a Twi'lek. Especially a female Twi'lek, because, as I said, while they were originally a matriarchal species, they have since changed that, and...
Jedi, I think I know what you've been doing. The Daria sent you to speak with me. She told you about the Flesh Raider elixir, didn't she? How it makes the Flesh Raiders strong. The Daria's been looking for a way to destroy the elixir, but she's making a terrible mistake. We shouldn't destroy the elixir, we need it. And I'll pay you well if you bring it to me.
What exactly do you want it for?
The elixir can make our guardsmen strong. Yes, it may change them, but it will work. We can defend our village and destroy our foes. Imagine, if the elixir can make a Flesh Raider powerful, what would it do for a pilgrim warrior? Bring it to me, and you will be rewarded, praised.
I won't help you feed the elixir to the pilgrims.
Fine. Obey the orders of an old woman to destroy the elixir. But pilgrim blood is on your hands. The elixir is in caves beyond our village. I doubt Jedi can even come close to the vats.
Then you're not losing out, are you? You don't think I can get to them anyway, so, what's it matter if I destroy them? I mean, we all know I'm going to. And I know, it's the exact same choice that I made on Diamab, because it just wouldn't be right to give them something that's going to poison them. Right? So I'm going to mostly meander in ways that will not put me into conflict. As always, I don't want to fight if I can avoid it, because I don't need that extra XP that others are probably after. So first we're going to go up to a cave that leads behind the waterfall, so we can destroy the elixirs. Oh look, elixir. Let's destroy it. Squish. Still don't have a lightsaber. It's okay. You can see someone else has already been in here. Oh look, I've got an extra quest to kill flesh raiders. Might as well get that done too. That didn't do any good, now did it? So, okay. Murder, murder, murder. Hello, traders. Get down here. Or die up there. That works too. So the problem with using that one ability is while, yeah, it gets the mobs away from you, it also knocks the mobs away and makes it a little harder to get to them to fight. It's more useful once you have, you know, more ranged abilities instead of just primarily melee. However, as a Consular, most of our abilities are going to be ranged because we're going to be a stealth sneak attack fighter when we finish out our leveling. It'll be fun. We'll love it. That said, it does damage them when we knock them away from us, so it's kind of a useful ability. There we go. Less flesh raiders. Let's go ahead and heal up. That didn't work. Oh, right, this one. Okay, all healed. Alright, let's go find Nayland Relics camp. Oh, look, all of the mobs we'd avoided earlier have respawned. Yay. It's okay. I'm good at skirting around and past mobs. Mostly. Okay, so... Nayland's camp is... this way. Look. Didn't quite skirt that group. Okay. Now that he's out of the way. Back up. Up, 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 up. There we go. There's the cave that's got the green that says, hey, this is your quest cave. Alright. Gonna be more flesh raiders to kill, I think. Maybe. No? No? Seems to not be any. Okay, well, fine. There it is. Holocron. That doesn't look ominous at all.
You make a lot of noise. I come for a flesh raider, I find a Jedi Padawan. I come to listen, to think among the dead, to fight for my people. Why have you come?
Villagers said you'd taken this holo projector, Nayland, and told me where to find you.
I suppose they spun the tale of me being a legendary protector, too. They don't understand. Are the flesh raiders destroyed? No. My people aren't safe until my learning's complete. Tython's relics still have lessons. I listen. I can do things I never imagined possible. I will be the defender my people deserve.
Once you become this great defender, what's the next step?
We make Tython ours. No Jedi, no Republic. Our world to plow and harvest and defend. We hunt the Flesh Raiders to extinction and laugh. Rajavari showed me how to punish them. The Flesh Raiders will come, but not leave. A merciful death compared to what my people have suffered.
What crimes have I committed that deserve being buried alive?
There are hidden wonders, Jedi, and my journey has just begun. Now run, or die.
I get to fight the Flesh Raiders while trying to escape a collapsing cave. Yay! Thankfully, I only need to kill so many of them, and I did, I believe, grab the holocron. So... the next bad guy come from? I don't know if I need to kill... Oh, nope, they ran up to find me. So yeah... I knew something was targeting me. Come on. Thankfully, I don't think the cave will actually collapse and kill you. Dan, come in. Like, there's no time limit on how long you have. The rocks will keep falling. I don't think there's ever a spot where they'll actually land on you and do damage, because you never see like red on the floor. If you notice, the rocks are landing all around me, none are actually hitting me. I'm pretty sure they're pre-generated on where they're gonna hit, and none of them actually hit the Jedi. Okay, I escaped. I killed some Flesh Raiders. You know what? Let's kill this big guy. And his friends. No? Nuts. It looked like there was going to be something fancy up here, but apparently not. Okay, so... let's see. The thing is, I keep thinking that there's some quests here that I'm missing out on. And that's why I keep running in and checking weird spots. Because it's like, did I miss something? Because... again, that question of what is specific to the Jedi Consular, what is specific to the Jedi Knight, figuring out which is which is always a questionable thing. I feel like I should be finding, like, a ring for someone's dad who is dead. And, you know, a kid who's been kidnapped, but I think the kid one is specific to the Jedi Knight, but the ring I could have sworn was anybody can do. Let's go in here and do it. Yeah, she's not going to talk to me. Pretty sure that's where the ring is. Alright, let's go ahead and...
You look well, Jedi. I'm glad the Flesh Raiders didn't hurt you. Did you destroy the Dark Elixir?
Otimus tried to bribe me to leave the elixir intact. But yes, I destroyed it.
Otimus wanted the elixir for himself, I suppose. You needn't tell me. I can guess. His encounter with the Flesh Raiders addled his mind. I will attend to him. In the meantime, thank you.
Is it so much that his mind was addled, or that he was just really, really wanting to help his people? I mean, there's a difference here. Slimy meat. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna head back to the Jedi Temple. Once we've gotten there, we will talk to Yuan Par, get our next step of the quest chain, and then we will call the stream for tonight. But this is a good start on. Here is the Jedi Consular chain. You get to meet Yuan, who is going to be your master up until such time that you are declared a Jedi Master yourself. You've met C.O. Bakar. Of course, you met him as a Jedi Knight as well, because he just welcomes everybody to Tython if you are a player character. Obviously not the case if you are an NPC, because, I mean, you're an NPC. You don't matter if you're an NPC. You only matter if you're a Jedi player. Because, I mean, they make the game to be fun for the player characters, not the NPCs. Which, I mean, it makes sense. The people paying the money for the game are the ones who you want to be playing it and want them to be having fun. Honestly, life in the Star Wars universe would be pretty rough if you weren't a player character. Like, there's a war going on, and in wars, people get in a lot of trouble.
Padawan, I just spoke to Rana Dalven, the daughter of the Ikori village's matriarch, concerning your visit there. I wanted to meditate on what you learned. Such experiences are what shape us as Jedi.
I found the holoprojector as you asked.
We should check that Rajavari's hologram is safe.
The holoprojector was stolen by a Twi'lek, Nayland Ralak. He learned Force techniques from Rajavari's hologram. He was obviously unstable.
A villager, very unusual, and Nayland is Force sensitive. Let's see what he saw.
Activation protocol begins. A few words. Shall this be all my legacy? No. My enemies are long dead. It is time. I have left true wisdom behind. For those who follow where the first blade points, from the sanctuary of the Order, all else is fleeting.
My word, true wisdom. Padawan, he's talking about the Fount of Rajavari.
What is this Fount of Rajavari?
After Rajavari fell, sources claimed he created a great archive of his knowledge and teachings, the Fount of Rajavari. Generations of Jedi search for it, finding nothing. The Fount's considered a hoax by all reputable scholars, but we just heard proof.
Nayland Ralak saw this hologram, Master. More of Rajavari's knowledge could make him incredibly dangerous.
The hologram said, follow where the first blade points, from the sanctuary of the Order. Calais! The ruins at Calais! The name means sanctum. It's the remains of an ancient fortress. Evidence suggests Calais was destroyed in a great battle. Old droids still walk those ruins today, but this first blade is a puzzle.
If it was once a fortress, it could refer to weapons that were stored in Calais.
We found several old weapons in one section of Calais. Nothing like a first blade, but a good place to begin. I planned your training so carefully, but the Force has intervened. Finding the Fount of Rajavari and stopping Nayland must be a greater test.
Even if the Force is shaping my training, I want your help, Master Yuan.
I thank you. You should know, Padawan. The Council tends to disapprove of such training, but I'll explain everything to them. Now focus on exploring Calais for this first blade. Call me on your holo communicator at once if you have any success.
Okay, so... Oh good, we got our first piece of shirt for Jedi. Come on, put it on. Thank you. Okay. You gotta wonder, seeing the outfits that are available as a Jedi, do they believe in color? Alright, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pop up to the trainer real quick, and get any new abilities, because I am now level 6, so there should be 1 or 2 new ones, and then we'll end the stream tonight, and next week we will continue our search for the Fount of Rajavari. That's the wrong way again. I went to the wrong place. Inevitably, I go to the wrong place. But yeah, we'll go ahead, we'll train, and then I'm going to get this uploaded to YouTube, get the everything set. I'm gonna go ahead and set my bars. Force done. Stealth, finally. Okay.
May the Force be with you.
But hope that here, let's pop over to. Okay, back to the chat. I hope that everyone has a great week. I will be back on Sunday with more of my crafting stream, and hopefully next week on Thursday we will do another stream. But I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of your week, and thank you for joining me. Be safe, take care of each other, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week.